Close your eyes. For a moment, forget modern America. There are no skyscrapers, no sound of cars, no electricity. You are standing in 18th century America. Through a light morning fog, you can see wooden houses, dirt roads, and in the distance, the masts of ships crowding the harbor. This is Boston. This is Philadelphia. This is New York, but not the New York we know today. These cities were small, chaotic, and strangely alive. Every morning, people woke up with a single question on their minds. How will we feed our family today? The air of the city was filled with the salty smell of the sea, the sweat of horses, and the smoke of burning wood. Life began before sunrise. At the harbor, workers pulled ropes, unloaded heavy wooden crates, and cleared cargo from ships. No one knew exactly what was inside: sugar, tobacco, cloth, or something that might change their entire lives. Inside the city, women carried water, children ran small errands, and men walked toward markets or workshops. These people were not kings. They were not names in history books. They were ordinary people. Farmers, sailors, craftsmen, shopkeepers. Their lives were hard, but they had dreams. Many came from Europe seeking religious freedom. Some fled poverty. Others came simply to survive. But the new world was not kind to them. Winters were brutal. Disease was everywhere. Food was never guaranteed. And yet the cities kept growing, because these cities were not just places to live. They were laboratories for a new future. Here, people were learning how to live together without a palace, without a king watching over them. And yet, these cities were not truly free. Across the ocean, there was a power that controlled everything: the British Empire. These cities were just pieces in a global game, a game where ships meant power, ports meant control, and people meant labor. 18th century America was hope on one side, control on the other. A new life under an old rule. Inside these cities, a restless question was slowly being born. Who are we working for? Ourselves or a power we have never even seen? The answer would not come today. But these cities, these people, these mornings, together they were lighting a fire that would one day change the course of world history. From the outside, these cities looked calm, but inside they were machines, global machines. The port of Boston was not just a place where ships arrived, it was the heartbeat of 18th century America. Before sunrise, ships began to enter the harbor. Some arrived from the Caribbean, loaded with sugar and rum. Others came from England, iron, cloth, weapons, and some ships left this very port filled with tobacco, wheat, timber, and animal hides. These ports connected America to a worldwide economic system, one of the first global systems in history. People worked here, but decisions were made across the ocean. London, American cities felt independent, but in reality, every string was pulled by British hands. The British Crown understood whoever controls the ports controls the colonies. So ports were not just trade, ports were power. And this power was concentrated in the hands of a few people, wealthy merchants. They lived in large wooden houses. Their children were educated. Their meals were secure. And the dock workers, they never knew if work would exist tomorrow. This inequality slowly built anger inside the cities. But power was not built on money alone. It was supported by law, administration, and fear. At the highest point of the city stood the governor's house. This was the true palace of colonial America. From here came decisions: which goods were taxed, which ships were stopped, which businesses were shut down. The governor was not a king, but his power was royal. And beside him stood another force: the church. The church was not just a place of prayer, it was the guardian of morality. It decided who was a good citizen and who was dangerous. British rule understood: control the mind and controlling the city becomes easy, administration and religion working together. But there was a problem. These cities kept growing. More people, new ideas. At the ports, people arrived from different countries, different languages, different beliefs. This mixture began to crack the old control.
People started asking questions. Why should we pay taxes to a king we never see? Why should we obey laws we never helped create? At first, these questions were whispers, not open rebellion. But history shows every revolution begins as a whisper. Pressure was building, and the explosion would not begin in palaces, it would begin in ordinary lives. Because there was another side of these cities. Narrow alleys, leaning wooden houses, the smell of dirt, rotting food, and sweat. This is where most people lived. 6 or 7 people in a single room, cooking over open fire, water from distant wells, no sanitation. At night, if someone screamed, windows stayed closed, because everyone knew the city was not safe. And the most terrifying enemy was invisible: disease. In 18th century America, disease did not mean sickness, it meant unseen death. Smallpox, yellow fever, cholera. One house falls ill in the morning, by the next day, silence. No hospitals, no modern medicine. Doctors arrived with small bags. Their treatments? Bloodletting, burning irons, herbal mixtures, and prayer. Often the cure killed faster than the disease. Death became so common that people learned to accept it. But disease didn't just destroy bodies, it destroyed belief. When people don't understand why others are dying, they look for someone to blame, and fear is born. That fear once drove an entire town insane. Salem, 1692. A small, deeply religious town. Children fall sick. They scream. They convulse. Doctors find no cause. The church declares the devil is at work. What follows becomes one of history's darkest chapters. Neighbors accuse neighbors. Friends turn on friends. Women are labeled witches. No proof required. Rumors are enough. Arrests, trials, executions. Everyone believes they are serving God. Salem was not alone. This fear spread across colonial America. Doors locked at night, windows barred, and people whispered, "Am I next?" Inside these cities, society was cracking. Disease, poverty, fear, distrust. And when society cracks, people ask questions. Are we really safe? Are our rulers protecting us, or are they ruling from a distance? These questions were no longer whispers. They became flames. Boston Harbor. In the darkness of night, men disguised as Native Americans board ships. They throw tea into the sea. This was not about tea. It was a message. Enough. There was no turning back. British soldiers arrived. Boots echoed in the streets. Homes were searched. The city split in two. Loyalists and those who wanted freedom. Friends divided. Families broke. Lexington and Concord. The first shot is fired. No one knows who fired it, but everyone knows the war has begun. This was not a war of armies. It was a war of farmers, shopkeepers, craftsmen, men who worked the fields by day and carried rifles by night. Cities changed. Churches became shelters, meeting halls, centers of rebellion. Fear no longer stopped people. Fear became fire, a piece of paper.
The Declaration of Independence. It was not just politics. It declared all men are created equal. Words never spoken like this before. The war continued. Hunger, cold, blood. And then the impossible happened. A colony defeated an empire. Britain surrendered. But independence was not the end. It was the beginning. Cities lay in ruins. The economy collapsed. People were exhausted. Now came the question, what kind of country will we become? And here begins America's true transformation. Not one man, but a group of thinkers. Washington, Madison, Franklin. They knew a new country needs a new system. A constitution is written. Power is divided. Rule of law is established. cities rise again. New roads, new markets, new hope. These cities are no longer built around ports or churches. They are built around an idea: freedom. Fear has not vanished. Disease has not vanished. Conflict has not ended. But now people know this city is theirs. This history reminds us America did not become powerful overnight. It was built through disease, through fear, and through the courage to question. And beneath today's modern cities lie these dark chapters, because a nation's light cannot be understood without knowing its darkness. Cities change, people change, but history never disappears.